Well, hello, namaste, and good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to today's webinar on leading with resilience in uncertain times. I am Ayushi Mishra, and I'll be your host for this phenomenal session today. In today's world, uncertainty is no longer the exception. It's the new normal, as orange is the new black. So, as leaders and professionals, we are constantly navigating change, challenges, and unpredictability. And in these moments, one quality stands out above all others: resilience. That's exactly what we are here to explore today: how to lead with resilience so that we not only sustain ourselves but also inspire and guide our teams with strength and empathy. Thank you all for joining us today, and I'm certain that this session will leave you with practical tools and fresh perspective on resilient leadership. It's now my privilege to introduce our speaker for today's session, Ms. Prachi Mahambre. Hello, Ms. Prachi. I welcome you to this platform of Education Nest on this phenomenal webinar today. Before moving ahead, everyone, I would like to give a small brief intro about Ms. Prachi to all of you. Ms. Prachi Mahambre has over 15 years of experience in the training and development industry. Prachi has conducted impactful training programs for more than 80 companies across diverse sectors. Her expertise spans leadership development, behavioral skills, business communication, emotional intelligence, and team building, areas that are critical to building strong and future-ready organizations. As a certified trainer with American TESOL and NLP practitioner, she is widely recognized for her ability to design and deliver customized learning solutions that address each client's unique needs. Her passion lies in creating engaging, transformative experiences that empower professionals to grow as leaders and collaborators. Thank you, Ms. Prachi, for joining us here today on this session, and I believe that you have a lot to share with my audiences here. So, without any further ado, I'll hand over the session to you. Thank you, ma'am. Wishing you the same.
Education Nest. And as you said it so rightly, this topic is so much relevant because you open the social media and there is so much chaos going around, And when every breaking news comes with all the unpredictability, and then like the news comes in, and then we think like all the times are certain. There is a lot of chaos going around, noise around, and then as a leader, okay, it sometimes becomes so difficult to navigate. So of course we are going to talk about it in detail, and as you said, we are going to cover many topics about leadership in the next 1 hour. Okay, so let's begin with it. Yeah. So what I would do is I will start with a nice saying, okay, and a smooth sea. Okay, it's like when you are a seller, okay, a smooth sea doesn't make you a good seller. Am I right? Because when when everything is going according to your plan, okay, you have planned it and it's going according to your plan, everything. When the webs are okay, I mean, there's no uncertain times. You know the direction where you are selling. Everything is known to you, and then it is a smooth way for you. But what happens when the waves are high? Okay, the direction is uncertain, and at that time, selling becomes so difficult. That's what the leadership is. So think about it for a moment, about the leadership, how leader sells through them. Because when the markets are deep, projects are failing, okay, all this chaos which is going around, the noise around, and then you have to guide the team, you have to motivate the team, you have to keep yourself motivated. All those things, doing all those things is absolutely challenging in uncertain times. So the one quality that makes a difference is your resilience. And that is what we are going to talk about today. And this topic itself, when I actually started my career, I'll tell you one thing. Um, I actually took the interview of many, because in the beginning of the career, when I was just preparing and designing the whole things and the content designing, so that time, 14 years ago, what I did was I conducted an interview of many leaders across industries. I took their appointments and I used to talk to them. So the one thing that was common among all was that you have to be resilient. You have to be confident when the things are not going according to your plan. So definitely this is one thing, and that is why, we were when we were just talking about like which topic to take and which topic to introduce. I think this was at today's time when there is like economic uncertainty as well that we are actually facing. So this topic is definitely something absolutely relevant. So I'll start with this. Okay, now this is for the listeners. Okay, that think of the time in last 6 months when you faced a challenge, but you managed to bounce back. Think about it. Just think about any challenge that you faced in last 6 months, maybe in your workplace or anywhere, and then you actually bounced back. What made you do that? That is the first question that I would like to ask. Think of it. And then how did you feel after you come out of it? So this is something. See, when you come out of it and then you look back and see, like, oh my God, I don't know how did I do that. So there are so many things that you must have done. There are so many people who must have helped you. So that is where the resilience comes into picture. So in the first is, let's understand what is resilience, because I have been talking about it resilience from the beginning itself. So resilience is nothing but it's your ability to handle and adapt to adversity. See, adversity is bound to be there. Change is the only constant in this world. I mean, it might be a change in the policies, the processes, or maybe the leadership changes, the team members change, everything. So, change is the only constant. Now, it is for the leader to understand how, okay, you handle those changes and how you adapt yourself to this adversity. See, when I talk about adversity, it can be anything. It can be, as I said, that there are some external factors which are absolutely not in your control, and still you have to cope with those. And there might be some internal factors. So we are going to talk about the mental, resilience as well, because those adversities, when you are faced with that adversity, what exactly the steps that you need to take so that you come out of it. I wouldn't say that it is very easy. Definitely not. It takes a lot of efforts for you, uh, but one thing, that once you know why we want to do it, it is actually easy for us to know how you're going to do it. Now, see, actually, you can see two pictures, and one is Mr. Ratan Tata. Now, I was just preparing for this session. I was thinking that, this would be the best example, because I'll take you back to 90s, okay, 90s area. The first indigenous car was manufactured by Tata. And Mr. Ratan Tata, he himself said that when I was thinking of doing that, um, one thing that I had in my mind, I mean, there were many people who were saying like it's not going to work. Why you want to invest your time and money into this project? But then he was very confident about, and I'm talking about Tata Indica, by the way. So that's how Tata Indica was launched. Okay. And it was definitely a great success. Now, cut to. Now, I'm going to talk about Nano. Yeah. So when Nano was introduced, okay, it was definitely Mr. Tata's dream car. Okay. In the sense that he used to talk about it as people's car, so that people would be able to afford that car, and that is why he wanted to introduce that. That was his dream. But something, I won't say it was a failure, but then something went wrong and it didn't do well, as means like he thought of it. So, but then when, I mean, people say, I mean, there's many reasons behind it, but one of the reasons was like it was introduced as um, cheap car, in the sense affordable car. But then it is said that maybe the marketing was not done properly or something of that sort. So whatever was the reason, but Mr. Tata never ever blamed it on anyone. He took the entire ownership of the whole project. Okay, this is what leadership is. When Indica was absolutely successful, he built an entire empire, the Tata Empire. Then came Nano, and then still, okay, if you really see, he was absolutely stable and he took that accountability. During the uncertain times, taking the accountability and ownership of whatever you do, the decisions that you make, it's so important, right? Now, Kiran Shah Mujumdar, when she started her business, it was around in 1970s. Women were not into business that time. Not many women were there. So she felt, I mean, she faced biased. I mean, it was very difficult for her to raise funds, convince the clients, but then still, okay, she had that confidence that I can do it. And actually, she invested a lot of money in R&D on Biocon. So that's how the whole picture. See, leadership is also about taking the accountability and being confident about yourself. So with this, these are the two examples which I thought like would be the best thing. So what is resilient leadership? See, it is not about setbacks. Okay, something happened and then I'm trying to handle it. It's not about that. It's about come back as well. See, whenever you see those things, like you see the adversity, but then you turn that adversity into opportunities for growth and learning and innovation. I'll give one more example because I was just reading one article and that was about Videocon. Now, this article was written around 1998 or 2000 something, or maybe 2001. So there, of course, Videocon has a different story to tell after, but then I'm just going to talk about that decade when the economic reforms came into picture. Now, when economic reforms were introduced in 1991, Videocon was actually leading in the market, the TV market and the consumer appliances. But then consumer electronics supply. But then what happened was because of all the competition coming in from the foreign brands, and they came in India with the aggressive price policy. Now, when they came in India, to withstand that competition was little tough. So the whole Videocon team, they actually had done the brainstorming for around 2 years. They were doing it for 2 years, and they came up with one policy where they thought that, okay, what we should be doing is we should be supplying the parts, the electronic parts, to the other companies which have come in India. That was the idea. I mean, that is how they could, because they had only two options, whether to sell the company to some other company or to withstand that competition. But then they looked at it as an opportunity and they started innovating. They started manufacturing those electronic parts, the compressor and all. They had to deal with Samsung and BPL and I guess Philips as well. So that is how they continued with their business. Of course, after that, there are many things happened, but that was the whole decision at that time. So the time, there might be numerous times when you might face such kind of challenges, but when you face such kind of challenges, how you come out of it? Because Rasi, what happens is when such things come, there is uncertainty, in the sense I don't know what to do next, right? Because for making the decisions as well, you might not have enough information with you. It might happen. You might lose the direction completely, whether to choose this road or that road. You might feel lost. You might even, it's like, when you cross the road every day, you're very confident. I mean, it goes without saying that you can cross the road confidently. But just imagine it's a dense fog, absolute dense fog. That activity of, just crossing the road would be so difficult for you, right? Same thing happens when the things are not going your way. You're unclear exactly what I need to do next. I'm losing the direction because the times are uncertain. That is when actually I would say leadership matters the most, because you know why? Because it exactly hinders the performances. Why? Because when the things are not clear, okay, how would you perform? What will keep you motivated? That is the basic question. It's about the team as well. Your team members also might feel lost somewhere. See, if the leader feels lost, then definitely the team members are going to feel lost. They might even have the lower morale. We as leader also, you might become close minded. I don't want to listen because I don't know. I mean, don't ask me the questions because I don't know anything. Okay, or you can be controlling sometimes, and I just don't know anything. Okay, it is better that you do the whatever I'm saying. This might be your psychology when you're in uncertain times. This might even lead to frustration. So all those things are the result of the uncertainty that you're facing. Okay, but actually I would say that leadership matters the most in this time, uncertain time. Why? Because you want to recover from the setbacks. It is about the leadership. How would you recover from the setbacks? To retain the top talent, you have to communicate with them exactly what's happening. See, if you lack the communication, of course, we are going to take up that topic little later about the communication. But, if you don't communicate, then it is very difficult, because in this chaos, it is quite possible that your top talent would leave. This would be another setback for any organization, because as a leader, you set the tone of the organization. You set the tone. If there is a chaos, you don't feel confident, then the whole environment that you're creating around you is of low confidence, right? You cannot, to make the decision, definitely leadership matters. And as I said, it's very important to take that ownership and accountability. See, why am I stressing on this ownership and accountability? This is very basic thing, right? Because if your leader, okay, let me put it in this way, that when you say that I'm accountable for that, I take the ownership of this, that shows that you show up as a very confident leader. When you see such confident leader, the team is going to follow you. How would you know that you are a leader? I mean, I always ask this question. How do you know that you are a leader? A very simple answer to that is look back. If you have the followers, that means you are the leader. So if the people are following you, so they are going to follow your steps. So if you are accountable, you show that accountability, and definitely it's going to, no, it's a top-down approach. So, your team members are also going to see you lead by example. So that is why the leadership matters in the uncertain times for sure. Okay. Now, but let's have the reality check. Even though I say all those things, let's be very clear about one thing, that during this time, okay, burnout are real. Okay. You may feel that burnt out. What is burnout is only that when you don't recover from that stress. So you have that stress, say A, and then you don't recover from it, then you add one more thing, B, into it, and that's how you actually go towards the direction of burnout. So how to avoid that? That of course we are going to see. But let's have the reality check. Even though I'm saying that, okay, it's easier said than done, right? There are few things which are going to happen, because when the changes are happening, the whole thing, okay, is, it's a blur, right? So that is why you have to understand one thing. If you understand your burnout, you will be able to understand other people going through it. Of course, that comes under self-awareness. You're going to see that. But because the team is going to look for signals. If at all they feel that my leader is so tensed and not very confident about the things that he or she is doing, then definitely they would also feel lost, right? And in such things, accountability becomes much sharper. Because that is one thing that definitely is expected from the leader. Now, what we are going to do is we are going to see key dimensions of resilient leadership. Now, these four things are basic. I wouldn't say these are the only things. There are many other aspects to that. But if I have to think about resilient leadership, these are the four dimensions of resilient leadership. One is your emotional resilience, cognitive resilience, social resilience, and last but not the least, because actually resilience is all about that, and that is adaptability. Yep. So now we are going to look at how you can actually have the right mindset when you're leading in tough times. Now, when I'm talk about emotional resilience, see, we all are human beings. We all are emotional beings. So everything that is happening around us, it is going to affect us directly or indirectly, consciously or subconsciously. It does affect us. So that is the reality. So I'm not going to say that, it should not bother you. It does bother. I mean, that is what the reality is. But then I would say that that time, just think about one thing. You are there as a leader for a reason. You are there because you have that capability to be there, to lead the team, to lead your team. You are there for a reason. So the first thing that you need to do is you have to become emotionally resilient. What does that mean? The first thing is you need to have complete, stable, and calm mind. Is it easy? No. Is it necessary? Yes, absolutely necessary. Might not be easy, but not impossible. It is possible to stay stable and calm. How? First thing is self-awareness. Now, what does that mean? Self-awareness is when you know yourself very well, your strengths, your weaknesses. What are the triggers for you? Okay, triggers in the sense like what are things that disturb you the most? What are the things where you react rather than respond to the situation? Once you know all those things, you become self-aware. Because when I know, okay, these are the things which disturb me a lot. These are the things where I'm really good at. Okay, when I know this, I would start working on my weaknesses and make my strengths stronger. This is what self-awareness. I am aware of my own emotions. When, I mean, it might sound a little philosophical, but you have to be connected with yourself first to get connected with others. Because connected in the sense how you think, because you cannot be on autopilot mode when there is adversity in around you. You cannot be on autopilot. In fact, when it comes to emotion, you have to keep them in check, because any emotional response from your side might make the situation worse, and that is the reason why you have to be self-aware. If you ask me about emotional intelligence, this is the basic, this is the foundation of it, self-awareness. Now, what you should be doing to be more self-aware, um, just sit with yourself first, without your mobile phone and anything. Just start writing your strengths and weaknesses first. Then write what you like, what you don't like, what you detest. Just write it down. Think about it. And then tell yourself that not everyone is similar. Everyone is an individual. They have their own ways of dealing with the things. I have my own way of dealing with the things. You are also an individual. You are also going to handle individuals. So they are not going to work the way you want them to. Exactly. They have their own style. So you have to respect that as well. So that would help you to be stable and calm, because everyone will have his or her own style of communication, of dealing with the things. You can definitely, as a leader, you can tell them what to do, what all things that you need, but sometimes how to do it, it has to be left to them. There might be a few things which you don't like. You think that this would really hamper the whole productivity. Of course, you are free to say, you have to communicate, but then you have to have complete stability and calmness in your mind. Otherwise, I'll tell you one thing, what would happen? It's like you will not be able to handle anything. If you are not able to handle your emotions, it's very difficult for you to handle the team. If you are out of control, how would you handle the other people? I mean, that's the basic question. That is why being stable and calm is absolutely important, because then only you can handle those pressure. Now, one thing is very important over here is you have to understand the reality of the situation. Now, when I say reality, what does that mean? It means only one thing. That means don't amplify the problems that you're facing. We want to make our problems bigger and then we want to think about it. No, that's not the way we should be doing it. Look at them as they are, then only probably you can actually find out the solution for it. And still, if you're not getting the solution to something, okay, it is better to wait. I would say that that small pause can make a lot of difference before you react, before you say something, okay? Because it actually comes from the self-awareness. You know exactly, okay, I don't like this. Now, like if I might react on this. So just take a pause. Just don't take the phone and talk to the person. Just small pause before picking up that phone. Before sending that email. Don't write email when you're mentally disturbed, because I always feel your thoughts travel faster than your words. I repeat, your thoughts travel faster than your words, right? So even though email, you might think that email is just the words. No, they carry the emotions with those. I mean, it carries the emotion with it. So that is why before you respond, take a pause. If you think you're not able to find the solution to it, take a pause, take a step back, and then think about it, the whole situation. And as I said, think of the situation as it is. And your positive outlook is absolutely important. You cannot just, because as I said, your thoughts are traveling faster. So you cannot have the negative thoughts, because your language would change. As a leader, it's absolutely important for you to use the positive language. The body language is just the reflection of your thoughts again, right? So that is why you need to have this positive outlook. Now, what is positivity? It's like whatever is happening right now, accept the things as they are without amplifying the whole situation and the problems. I would say problems, there are no problems actually. There are only situations in life, right? So don't look, because When I say situations, so situations come and go. When I say problems, see the psychology changes. You might think that okay, problems might stay there, but there are only situations. When it is very difficult for you to deal with it, you think that it is a problem. Yeah. So this is how the whole thing. So look at it as I wouldn't say problems, situations, and be very positive while talking, using the language. For example, somebody says that, I don't know what to do, and that person is frustrated. So in that situation, if you keep your calm and say that, okay, let me see what happened. See, your tone of voice is very important, because that's why I said non-verbal as well. Your tone of voice also matters a lot. You have to practice that. Yeah. But then when you are calm from inside, your tone of voice will also be stable and calm. So you don't have to, work on it. So first work on your thoughts, stable and calm, because that is the only way to deal with the problems. Now, the second one that we are going to talk about is cognitive resilience. Um, See, cognitive is about your brain's ability to remain sharp. Now, why do I need the sharper brain? It's only because you want to communicate, you want to think about the solution, you want to feel confident, you want to feel positive. Okay, all those things that we have just seen, all those things that you want to feel that, right? You want to create those thoughts, and it won't happen, okay, if your brain, I would say, it's not cooperating, because you have to have a good memory. I would say that during this time of uncertainty, your memory, your focus, they have to be sharp, have to be. Now, how to do it? Because see, if you are stressed, then this is not going to happen. Okay, your brain is not going to cooperate with you. So, what we should be doing? So, I'm going to tell you very simple and basic things. You might think that, okay, this is something I know. Knowing is one thing, but doing is another thing, right? So, I would say the first four first: balanced diet, mindfulness, exercises, and of course your sleep. These are the four things. These are non-negotiable, and especially, during the tough times. See, when I say that you have to have a sharp mind, but that time, just imagine, okay, I mean, I just give you an imaginary situation that you don't have the proper sleep, okay, because maybe of some reasons, uh, you, because of the meetings and everything, so much chaos going around, so I am skipping my meals. Okay, that might happen. Or I don't get time for exercising, or I don't even spend some time, the me time, for myself, maybe some hobby or something, and we are not doing anything on the of that sort. Just imagine the burnout that might happen, right? That is the reason. Okay, that is the main reason why, if you want to think positively, see, all those things, thinking positive, or you can take, be mindful, or when you want to communicate, when you want to manage your time during this chaos, you need energy, lot of energy. Even for the time management, you need energy. You just minus all those things, and from where are you going to generate that energy, right? You need that energy, and that is the reason why all these four things are very important. And the last one is continuous learning. You know what happens is, like, when you learn something new, or you read something new, some other things, and when you share that with someone else, that is where, that's a good food, that's a diet, that's a good diet for your brain. So learn something new, that would help you, help with the memory, focus, you feel fresh, right? So I would say, read something or learn something new, listen to some things which will add something new qualities in you, something of that sort. that would help you build that cognitive resilience, because these are the basic things, absolutely basic, yet very powerful things. Do it for maybe 2 weeks and you yourself can see the results, changes in your energy, the way you talk, you communicate, in fact the way you walk, that also matters a lot. Absolutely, your body language matters a lot. Okay, so all those things are important to build that cognitive resilience. Okay, the next one, which is absolutely important, is your social resilience. We sometimes ignore that in the pretext that we don't have time, but it is the ability and the strength, and from the relationships and networks. And networking is very important. um, just think of the last time when you actually got stuck with some problem, and you just wanted to ask somebody. So you just pick up the call, you ask that person, he tells you, and your problem is solved, right? What was that? This was nothing but your networking, the relationships. Very much, it matters the most. Matters the most. Building those coping with all those things. You actually you will be able to cope with it, all the adversities. Plus, it would help you bounce back faster. So those relationships are important, but relationship needs nurturing, right? You have to nurture it. How do you do that? Is you have to cultivate that trust. Yeah, you have to have those strong bonds, support, and most important part, which I'm going to discuss, of course, communicate authentically. That also builds trust, right? See, communication has a big role to play in resilience, because you communicating with your team about, and that, your tone, your language has to be absolutely positive in these circumstances. And the basic thing, the foundation of communication is listening. You have to listen to the people when they talk. In fact, I would say as a leader, you should be listening more than talking. Try and understand. Now, that brings me to the next point, that is showing empathy. See, these two things, communicating and showing empathy, is are very important. I'll tell you why. When the things are uncertain, your team members also might be going through a lot of things, because they might be thinking about their job, retaining their job, or they might be thinking about their family, the finances, or whatever. So that is affecting them as well, the uncertain times. So that time, you supporting them and showing that empathy, you taking time to just listen to them, okay, at least once a week, yeah, maybe 10-15 minutes also. So that is very much important to build that trust and strong connections, because that is where you can be socially resilient. Okay, so for this, all these things are very important. And as I said, the foundation of being resilient is adaptability. What is adaptability? Is you have that ability to change. Okay, you don't have the fixed mindset. You more than you have that uh, growth mindset. You don't want to just have the ideas where you are just thinking about, okay, this is the idea and I think like all of you should be following it. No, you're listening to other people's idea. If you think that this is some, because see, when the things are changing, you have to experiment with other things. You have to be adaptive. You have to think about the other ways and the different ways of doing the same thing, right? Because you're facing few things which you might not have faced before. So try something which you might not have tried before, right? So that is nothing but your adaptability, because it might happen that the same route that you were following, might not be right, or you might have to try the new route. So this is something that is adaptability. It's just like you have that GPS, right? So if the one route is closed, it gives you the signal and gives you the another route. You actually take another route. So you don't have to just be there and say, no, I want to be on this route because I know this would work. No, you have to go for another route. Okay. So this is nothing but your adaptability. So keeping your vision intact is absolutely important, because when you are adaptive, you have that growth mindset, but you should not be forgetting what exactly you're trying to achieve. So the goals need to be very clear. In adaptability, one more thing, you have to have a clarity where exactly you are going. Okay, so this is very important. Now when you're doing all those things, okay, that brings me to a very famous example, that okay, I might be doing it, but then I'm not seeing the results. I want to see some results, right? So I would give you an example of bamboo. Okay, if you really see, I mean, this there are many types of bamboo. They actually take years to grow. You don't even see anything happening above the ground. You don't even see the shoot. Okay. But then what does the bamboo do for around, it takes around a year also sometimes for a bamboo to grow. Okay. So does it do is it is actually trying to prepare itself stronger beneath the ground. Okay. So that it can stand tall, because it actually then once it is strong in 3 to 5 years also sometimes it takes, and then within a few days it actually grows maybe 10 feet and 12 feet like that. So whenever you are doing all those things, when the things are not going your way, so don't think that you are not able to see the results, that means there will not be any results. No, you will have to have patience. Okay, so the next quality that I would like to talk about is your patience. You need to have patience, a lot of patience, because it's not going to happen in a day or two. You will have to try and do the things, take the action, because unless the actions are taken, it's not going to happen, right? So actions are very important. Behind that, thoughts are very important. Talking with communicating is very important. Now I'm going to talk about the 4 rituals that every leader needs to try. The first one is reflection. See, at the end of the day, see this, if you like journaling, you can write it down in your diary, in the sense what challenge you faced and what you learned today. What actions are you taking? See, before you sleep, okay, or whenever you get that time, just think about it. Okay, because that is going to really help you understand where exactly you are going. See, as I said, that you can't afford to be on the autopilot mode. You have to be conscious enough where you are heading. So that is why this reflection ritual or the connection ritual, wherein you actually indulge in the good conversations with others. Networking is very important, right? And there are some non-negotiable things. It might be that you take out some me time, or you just want to read something, you want to listen to something good, podcast or something, or maybe learning something new. That is absolutely important, okay, for you as a leader to recharge yourself. Yeah. So these are the 4 rituals. Definitely you have to follow it. Yeah. Now, these are very simple, by the way. I guess you can really do it. Now, resilience is last but not the least, it is about trusting the process. It is the process that is going to happen. Trust it. Okay. Build that inner strength, because that inner strength would actually give you the clarity and the confidence. So you need a lot of confidence during this time of unpredictability. You need to have that confidence, because when you show that confidence, then definitely what happens is, like, your team also become confident, right? You need to have patience, and most importantly, your team needs to stay rooted during those storms. Yeah. But for that reason, you need to help your team to do that, to come out of it. So last but not the least, you have to remember these two things. One, these are the storms, these are just the situations. This is where I'm going to look at it as an opportunity, okay, to grow, to learn new things, to come up with new ideas. That's what my first question to you was, that think about any situation in last 6 months when you actually were facing the problem, and how you came out of it, and how did you feel, right? So that is exactly going to happen when you are into that situation. The situations are going to come and they're going to go. But during that time, how you handled it, okay, how you actually had that journey, that is absolutely important. And I would say that you should have that strength. The bamboo, I mean, the example that I had given you was, it showed the flexibility, the adaptability, that bamboo doesn't break. Even during the storms, it might bend. Okay, so that is how the resilience is. Last but not the least, resilience is not built in a day. It takes time. It is, you have to do it, practice it every day, and see your life changing. That would really, make you feel confident, come what may your way. Okay. Um, so with this, we come to an end of the session. Over to you, Ayushi.
Well, thank you, ma'am. Thank you for this phenomenal session. I believe that my audiences have definitely learned a lot. And before ending this session, as we have a lot of questions in the live chat, so we'll take them one by one. And to my audiences, keep posting them on the live chat, and I will request Ms. Prachi to take them up. So, starting with the first question, it says, how can resilience help in navigating layoffs, restructuring, or downsizing?
See, it is about the policy of the company, right? So during this time, when, as I said, that you have to look at the situation as it is, don't amplify it unnecessarily. Okay, this is the time when you have to be calm. As I said, see, I cannot tell you how to avoid. I'm not here to tell you avoiding, because the situations are going to be there. But how you deal with those situations is very important. So that is where the resilience is. When you are faced with this kind of a situation, you should have the options ready with you. Because the first thing after they lay off, the first thing that comes in our mind is what to do. No, as if the whole world has come to an halt. No, it is not that. Okay, it might be the beginning for you of the new thing, of the new job, or something new. Okay, so look at it in a very positive perspective. See, as I always said, it's easier said than done, but you have to do it. Some things are necessary to be done. Okay, so look at it, take a break, take a pause, and think about the situation. It is a situation, not a problem. So how to deal with this situation, that you have to think. That is where the resilience comes into picture.
All right. Thank you. We'll take the next question. What are the qualities that make a leadership resilient?
The first quality is being emotionally intelligent. Those who can handle their own emotions. See, emotional intelligence are four things basically. First is your self awareness. That means how much aware yourself about yourself. The second one is self management, how you can manage your own emotions. Because if can manage my own emotions, I can actually handle other people's emotions as well. right? And the relationship management. As I said, that in resilience, the best part is about the social resilience. So you have to have the good connections. Network is going to work, definitely. In layoffs also, it is going to work for you. So you have to have those good relations with everyone. So I think that is the foundation of the resilient leader. That is the foundation. And of course, there are other things. Then comes the communication, and you have to lead by example. And I'll tell you one thing, which is absolutely important for any leader, is a discipline. So when you are disciplined, okay, many things, because okay, I'll give you one very simple format, is good habits. Okay, they are difficult to form but easy to live with, but bad habits are easy to form but difficult to live with. So that is why these are the few things which leadership need to have. You have to have good discipline as well.
Okay. The third question says, how do we ensure your team stays resilient during organizational changes?
When the organizational changes happen, the first thing is, see, any change comes with a chaos. Okay, because change is what, something new is happening. So most first reaction to any change, just forget about anything. If at all the HR tells you today that don't come at 8:30, you have to come at 8:15. So that 15 minutes change is also a big thing, right? So change comes with the resistance. Okay. Then gradually, okay, then we think of it, then it might even turn into anger, like why HR is calling us at 8:15. No, why? So that would be an anger. Then, gradually you might feel, okay, let's do it. We have to do it. So see, you will go through all those emotions. First is resistance, and then comes this and that. So whenever there is an organizational change, the first thing you will resist. So I would say that first of all, look at it as, okay, now these things have happened. That's what I said. Acceptance is the first positive thinking. So yes, things have happened. So now what next? So what we think, see, we generally what we do is we think about the problems only. Okay. And we actually invest a lot of our time thinking about the problem. Instead of saying, I would say concentrate more on the solution. Now this thing has happened. What next I would do? That's very important whenever any change is happening.
The best thing is, as you told, that even if we are shifted only 15 minutes early, like you have to come 8, 8, 8, 15, first we'll be resistant and then we'll adapt it. As you have also taught in this session,
Yes.
adaptability comes across, and then when our emotional intelligence hit, everything gets normal. So, I guess.
I'll give you an example also actually. There was a company who introduced which new software. Everyone came and said like, why this new software? The old one was happening. I mean, it was better and everything happened. And then the training was provided by the company, and still they would say, these are like temporary, we are going to go back to our old routines. Okay, so that is how they had. But then they understood, oh my God, now this is going to stay. So let's learn it.
Run it
See, then the acceptance happening. That's how it happens.
Let's take the next question. What's the biggest workplace challenges you might have faced in uncertain times?
I have faced a lot of, because I was running a business. So pandemic was one of the biggest thing, because I was into, see, with pandemic, the first thing that I had to come online. And I never had done any session online. Now this was the biggest change for me. And I said no to many sessions. Okay, just because they were online. See, I was not adaptive. So then I realized, no, the time is changing. I have to be comfortable with all the software, that
Right.
Zoom platform, Microsoft Team. I should be. So that's how, my, first thing was, okay, no, I should not be doing it. And then gradually I shifted there. But, that is how you have to learn it. You
Right.
have to be adaptive. Yes. Otherwise you lose the opportunity.
Rightly so, ma'am.
Yeah.
So let's take the next question. Do you think resilience impacts productivity in the corporate world?
Absolutely. Just think of, you have a very strong person as a leader, okay, who can make the decision, who is a very good listener, who can communicate really well, who can actually understand your problems empathetically. Just imagine you having this leader in your team. You will not leave that company for rest of your life.
Right.
Yes.
We'll have solutions to our problems, basically.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
So its next question is acceptance plus adaptability plus positivity plus continuous learning is equal to organizational resilience, isn't it?
Absolutely. I will organize because we make organization,
Right.
right? It's we people. So if you have all these things, the organization is definitely. That's why I gave you the example of Mr. Ratan Tata.
This the audience has listened to your session very well. They have almost summarized it in the live chat.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Let's take the next
absolutely.
question, ma'am. Do you believe resilience drives innovation in uncertain corporate environments?
Absolutely. That's what I said. In fact, when I gave you the example of Videocon, I mean, they actually came into this market of manufacturing it, and they supplying the electronic parts to Philips and BPL and Samsung. So it was an innovation for them because they were trying something new. So it is the time, and in a pandemic, that is the best example. Like many people came up with the new things after pandemic, right? In fact, like if you really see, the startups have increased now. If you really see number of startups, because people want to be innovative, people want to introduce something new. So yes, with any difficulty comes some way, and the innovations, of course, it's a way to do it.
The next question is a little short, I guess, but what the audience want to ask is asking for help a part of resilience?
You need to ask for help. Absolutely. Because this is a very good question. Because what happens, we keep the questions or maybe whatever you feel to yourself. And then, that won't help you in the long run. So asking the question is not only during the uncertain times, in general also, you need to ask questions. If questions means like you're not clear about something, right? So clarity is the only thing which can give you confidence when you're clear about something, right? So asking questions is like you're asking for the clarity. I don't have this clarity. I have a lot of confusion. Confusion can lead to self-doubt. And with self-doubt, can you perform? No. That is why you have to be absolutely clear in your mind. So clarity comes first. So ask questions whenever you feel. And if you are a leader, be ready to answer the questions.
Right. There is another question. What strategies help your team bounce back from setbacks quickly?
It's you as a leader, okay? If you want to be quickly, if you want to come, make them come out of it, everything matters. The way you talk with them, the way you communicate with them, listening skills, how you listen to them. And see, I would say during the times of uncertainty, even though over communication is happening, it's absolutely okay rather than having under communication. So communicate, talk with them, understand. Okay, even though you can't solve all their problems, see, that is not, see, leader cannot solve all your problems, definitely. But then at the same time, at least they can communicate with you, right? I mean, the team can communicate with you. You can have the discussion, right? And then come up with some possible, probable solution. These are the things which actually can motivate and your language, the way you talk with your team. Are you talking only about the problems with them, or are you talking something else, positive things that are happening? Some small, even the achievements should be celebrated. That's what I think. That keeps you motivated.
Right. Let's take this one last question. How do you stay motivated during stressful times?
You're asking me personally?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Anyone, if you want to be, stay motivated all the time, is one thing is you should have the clear purpose. why you're doing it. Why am I doing certain things? Even though you go to office, and secondly, I'll give you a very simple tip. You should not be saying, I have to do it, because there is kind of compulsion. Say I want to do it. Okay, why do I want to do it? Because I'm capable of doing it. I have those skills. That is why I want to do it. Just change that vocabulary from have to do it, because have to is like, somebody has forced you to do it.
Yes, right.
I want to do it.
It's psychology.
And especially the things, yes, everything changes. And especially the things which you don't like to do, just say, I want to do it. This will keep you motivated.
Well, all right. Thank you so much, Ms. Prati. I'll congratulate you for leading this session with such warmth and wisdom. So, as we have come to the closing of the today's session on leading with resilience in mostly uncertain times, let's take a moment to reflect. What we have learned is that resilience is not just simply about bouncing back from challenges, it's about bouncing forward also stronger and being more adaptable. A heartfelt thank you to Ms. Prachi Mahambre for sharing her wisdom and experience, and to all of you for being here and being such an engaging audience. Ms. Prachi, before ending the session, I would request you to leave with a very positive advice for my lovely audiences who has joined us from the starting.
Okay, I will give you this advice in Hindi. Chalega?
Of course, सब चलेगा.
Okay, okay. चलो 4 लाइन बोल देते हैं. Okay. मंजिलों तक हम पहुंच जाएंगे एक दो दिन देर से ही सही. मंजिलों तक हम पहुंच जाएंगे एक दो दिन देर से ही सही. मुसीबतें तो उनकी है जो घर से ही नहीं निकले. Right? So take those actions and be very positive.
Thank you so much, Prachi. And to everyone, if you have liked this session, do follow Education Nest on YouTube. And if you want to inquire about more corporate sessions, webinars, or trainings, you'll find all our connecting links on our YouTube description down below. And I, Aisha Mishra, will meet you again next week with another topic and another phenomenal webinar. Till then, follow what you have learned today, and not last, and I would like to wish you all a very happy Dashera from the whole team of Education Nest. Enjoy, and I
Okay,
shall
thank you
see
so
you
much.
all next week.
Thank you so much for
Thank you.
inviting. Thank you.